Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly special, the August 1943 issue of Akhand Jyoti, written by the visionary Pandit Sriram Sharma Acharya ji. You know, you have to wonder, what if the keys to a better life were waiting for us, tucked away in a magazine from over 80 years ago? Well, let's find out together and see what timeless lessons it holds for us right now.
So here's how we're going to break it down. Our journey through this incredible issue is going to unfold in 4 parts. First, we'll start by looking inward, at the incredible strength we all have inside us. Then, we'll see how to take that strength and actually use it to make our daily lives better. From there, we'll zoom out a bit to look at our role in the wider world, in society. And finally, we'll tie it all together with the big picture, finding a higher purpose.
All right, first up, awakening your inner strength. You know, right from the get-go, the magazine hits us with this pretty radical idea. The power we're all searching for, it isn't out there somewhere. It's already inside of us, just waiting to be discovered.
And this quote from Swami Ramtirth just nails it. We spend so much of our lives chasing happiness, right? We think it's in a new job, a new relationship, or buying that thing we want. But an article in the magazine called Know Thyself argues that's a total dead end. It says real happiness isn't something you get, it's something you unlock by finally realizing who you truly are.
And then the article takes this idea and paints this incredible picture. It says you're not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a single drop. Now, that's not about being arrogant. It's about recognizing that there is this vast, powerful, divine essence right inside of you. And, once you truly feel that, what is there really left to be afraid of?
This whole idea just comes to life in this amazing story called God Exists. So get this, you've got a room full of brilliant scholars, right? They're trying to convince a group of atheists that God exists, and they're tying themselves in these complicated logical knots and failing. Then, a 12-year-old boy steps up. He doesn't have any complicated arguments. He just says that his own existence, just him standing there, is all the proof anyone needs of a higher power. And it's that pure, simple faith that sways the room. It shows that sometimes belief is a kind of power that logic just can't touch.
So, okay, we've awakened this inner power. Now what? How does that actually change how we live day to day? That brings us to our second section, crafting a better life, all about applying this wisdom to the choices we make every single day.
So one of the stories basically puts a choice right in front of us. On one side, you have the path of Adharma, the easy road. It looks super attractive, full of quick wins. And on the other, you've got the path of Dharma, the harder uphill climb. In the story, one friend takes that easy road, and man, he gets everything he wants at first. The other friend, he chooses the difficult path, and it really looks like he's losing everything.
But here's the twist. That easy path, the one that looks so shiny, it ultimately leads to ruin. And the difficult path of Dharma, after all that struggle, leads to this deep, lasting joy. The moral is just perfectly summed up by this quote. The things that are truly worthwhile take time and patience to grow, but they're the ones that will sustain you for a lifetime. The magazine also dives into these timeless virtues. And this next story, Repaying the Debt, is just incredible. Look at this timeline. It starts when they're just kids. One boy, Nick, takes a really harsh punishment to protect his friend, Nicholas. Okay, now fast forward over 30 years. They've lived completely separate lives. Nicholas is now a judge, and who appears before him? Deck, wrongly accused and facing a death sentence. And without even hesitating, Nicholas risks it all, his job, his reputation, his life, to save his friend, repaying that debt of loyalty from their childhood. It just goes to show you, the deepest bonds of friendship and gratitude really are timeless.
Now, these stories are all about these amazing, timeless values, but the magazine also stops and asks a really important question. Does that mean we should just follow every old tradition without ever thinking about it?
And the answer from the magazine is a very clear nope. It tells this story that's almost darkly funny, about a man who insists on eating some ghee that's been in his family for decades, simply because it's tradition. His friend warns him, but he just says, old is gold, and then he dies from food poisoning. The message is crystal clear. Tradition can be valuable, but we have to use our own wisdom to know when it's time to let go of something that just isn't healthy for us anymore.
Okay, so we've looked at our inner lives and our daily choices. Now, let's zoom out. Because the magazine argues that improving ourselves is only half the battle. It's not complete until it leads to building a better, stronger society for everyone.
This quote from an article called Become Human is wow. It's so thought-provoking.
It points out something we do all the time without even noticing. We introduce people by their jobs, their titles, their religion, where they're from. But how often do we just say, "This is a human being"? We get so focused on the labels that we forget the one thing we all share. The article makes this beautiful point that we're all born human, but then we immediately get shoved into all these little boxes. Our profession, our background, our beliefs. And the author's plea is so simple. Can't we just remember our most basic identity first? Because it's only when we start from that place of shared humanity that real compassion and connection can actually begin to grow.
Building on that idea, an article by Swami Vivekananda makes this really sharp observation. He identifies what he calls a slave mentality. And it's this weird contradiction. It's when a society is harsh and dismissive toward its own people, but then bends over backwards to impress outsiders. His message is so powerful. A strong nation, a strong society, isn't built by looking for approval outside. It starts with learning how to respect and trust each other.
So what does real social service even look like? Is it about writing big checks or organizing huge events? Well, a beautiful story by Rabindranath Tagore suggests it's something much simpler. During a terrible famine, all the wealthy people tell the Buddha they just can't afford to help. Then a young beggar girl named Supriya steps forward and says she'll feed everyone from her tiny little begging bowl. See, it's not about her resources, it's about her will. Her pure intention shames everyone else into action, proving that the simple desire to help is the most powerful tool that any of us have.
And that brings us to our final section, the one that really ties everything we've talked about together. The magazine suggests that a spiritual path is what gives true meaning to our inner strength, to our daily actions, and to our place in the world. Now remember, this was written in 1943, right in the middle of World War II. The main editorial declares that the world is on the very edge of a massive change, what it calls a new era. And it argues that to face this new world, we can't just sit around and wait for things to change on the outside. We have to start the work inside, by cleaning the temple of our own minds.
And what's the whole point of this inner work? It's captured so perfectly in this simple prayer from the magazine. It's a plea that feels just as powerful today as it must have back then. It's a call for guidance, for clarity, for truth. Really, it's the heart of any spiritual journey, isn't it?
So, why do all this spiritual practice or sadhana? An article by Sri Aurobindo offers this totally mind-blowing idea. He says this practice isn't just about saving your own soul or finding your own peace. The ultimate goal is to become a dynamo, a source of positive energy, a channel of light and strength for everyone around you. It completely reframes a personal journey as an act of public service.
And the best part is, this isn't just some abstract philosophy. The magazine breaks it down into 3 simple, practical steps that literally anyone can start doing today. You can see them right here. Number 1, just take a moment to connect with something bigger than yourself. 2, take a moment to reflect on your own actions. And 3, find one small way to help someone else. That's it. That's the start of the entire path.
And you know, that really brings us full circle. The wisdom here is that this whole journey starts inside of us, but its true purpose is to flow outwards into the world. From finding your inner strength to doing outer service, these ideas from 1943 give us a complete, and honestly, a surprisingly modern, guide to living a truly meaningful life. So, as we wrap this up, the question this 80-year-old magazine leaves us with isn't about history, it's about right now. Of all these incredible ideas we've talked about, from discovering your inner power to the simple path of doing a small good deed, which one will you take with you from this moment into the rest of your day?